Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown, more specifically, a brand new Albums I Missed video, which I guess also simultaneously acts as the debut episode of my newly announced Late Night with Metal Meltdown television program, because I'm recording this at 1 o'clock in the goddamn morning. Hell, I don't even think them late night guys are up till 1 in the fucking morning. You think fucking Seth Meyers and Stephen Colbert are doing this shit at 1 in the morning? Fuck no. I imagine they're in bed, and you know what? Good for them. They're already way smarter than me, because they're in bed, and I'm not. Instead, I'm doing this. What are we doing again? I feel like I went off on a tangent there. Oh, yeah, brand new Albums I Missed video. Fucking duh, right? Jesus. Today we're gonna talk about a bunch of albums that came out in April of 2022 that unfortunately I do not have the time to review in a proper, full-blown video review thing. As I said before, it is literally 1 o'clock in the goddamn morning. 1:03 if you want to be super specific. So let's try not to waste too much fucking time. Let's jump right the fuck into it. Oh, and also Chompy's here, because it's been a while, hasn't it? Or at least I feel like it's been a while since Chompy was on the Metal Meltdown. How you doing, buddy? How you fucking doing? You ready to talk about some really cool and or really shitty fucking new music? Yeah, I fucking bet you are. Fuck yeah, let's do this. First up, we have Dystopia, new album from German metalcore crew Caliban. Of all the metalcore albums I've listened to in 2022, this is definitely one of them. Yeah, I don't hate this record by any stretch, but it definitely did not do a fucking thing for me. I just found it to be really formulaic, really cookie cutter, really predictable. The same electronic beats and breakdowns and big anthemic fucking post-hardcore choruses that we've been hearing from metalcore for the past, like, 15, 20 fucking years at this point. It's a little bit overproduced. It's kind of clunky. It lacks imagination and spirit. Definitely not my fucking cup of tea at all. Not objectively bad or anything. Maybe if this was the first metalcore album I ever heard in my entire life, I'd fucking fall in love with this, but it isn't, therefore I didn't. So, yeah, I'm gonna give this it's definitely a metalcore album out of 5. That's my official score for Dystopia. Moving on. Next up, we have Obsidian from Northlane, which I actually did enjoy. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. I was expecting to pretty much disregard it and to be bored by it, similarly to Dystopia, but yeah, that did not happen. In fact, I would argue that this is everything that Dystopia wants to be. It's big, it's bold, it's well-produced, it's very memorable, it's punchy and dynamic, it's versatile without being distracting, without potentially alienating people who just want their metalcore breakdowns and all that shit. It's intelligent, it's legitimately a pretty good record. Yeah. I actually like this record. I mean, it's not, like, mind-blowing or anything. It's by no means one of my favorite records of the year. It's not even one of my favorite records of this fucking month. But you know what? If you're looking for some mainstream modern metalcore with, like, some post-hardcore shit and some electronic shit and some nu metal riffs, this ain't a bad place to fucking spend time, you know? Why not? It's better than Dystopia. It's definitely a better metalcore album than Dystopia out of 5. That's my official score then for Obsidian. Yeah. Is this fucking thing getting to me already? I swear to God, I've had like 2 fucking sips and I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind. Maybe it's because I'm also recording this at 1 in the morning. This was a very bad idea, but I feel like it's too late to stop. So we're just gonna keep going. Yeah. Anyway, next up, we have Devil's Bell, a brand new studio album from Audrey Horne, a Norwegian hard rock heavy metal supergroup featuring current and former members of Enslaved, SAG, Paul Di'Anno's live band. Definitely a lot of fucking talent here. These guys have been kicking for close to 2 decades now, and they've put out a few records that I've enjoyed over the years. But I think at this point, I'm just kind of done with Audrey Horne. Not so much because they're putting out, like, really bad or incompetent material, more so because there's nothing they're doing right now that younger bands aren't doing better. Like, there's nothing that Audrey Horne is doing that Striker, Skullfist, Spirit Adrift, and Haunt are doing way, way better. Don't get me wrong, if you're just looking for some meat and potatoes, classic hard rock and heavy metal with twin guitar leads and Nawabum-style galloping rhythms and big, bold choruses that you can bump your fucking chest to and sing along to and play at the fucking 4th of July barbecue, this is it. You will absolutely have a goddamn blast with this and more power to you. But for me, this is just very derivative, very generic, and very forgettable. Not terrible, just completely unnecessary. I'm probably going to forget this album even exists once this video goes online, quite frankly. I enjoyed it while it was on, but it left really no impact whatsoever. Next up, we have Liberate, the Unborn Inhumanity from Moore's Principium Est. This Finnish melodic death metal crew have decided to re-record a slew of tracks from their first 3 studio albums. I know what you're thinking with that in mind right off the bat. Robert, please tell me this isn't a Clayman 2020 scenario. And I can very happily tell you that no. Not only are these songs really good, they're arguably better than the original versions. The modern coat of paint, the modern production makes these songs a lot punchier, a lot more dynamic, a lot more exciting. They're crisp. The solos and the riffs sound fantastic. Vocals, drums, bass, it rains down like fucking thunder. There's a lot of legitimately really good fucking shit here. And I'm hoping that this inspires people to not just look at Moore's Principium Est more, but just to look at them, like, in general. Because this is a really underrated fucking band. And granted, they've never put anything out on par with, like, Heartwork or Slaughter of the fucking Soul, but they've been responsible for some really cool melodic death metal. Like, think of them as, like, Arch Enemy meets Children of Bodom. You know, like, those muscular, anthemic, chest-bumping riffs and choruses, but with a lot of, like, guitar and keyboard wizardry, like, a lot of pyrotechnics and a lot of fucking sizzle. It's just really fun fucking music. I will concede that the album does lose a little bit of steam and momentum right around the halfway point. Some of the songs do begin to bleed together just a little bit, but for the most part, man, this is just an all-you-can-eat melodic fucking death metal buffet. It's fun, it's sharp, it's straight to the point, doesn't waste time. It's just a really good fucking record. This is everything that Clayman 2020 should have been. In fact, I would highly recommend In Flames, or for that matter, any band that wants to re-record their older material, I would highly recommend they look at this album very, very, very fucking closely and examine what Moore's Principium Est did right. And then do that. Please and thank you. Next up, we have Lowest Form of Animal from Kublai Khan TX. I don't know, maybe that's supposed to say Texas? I don't really fucking know. I also don't really care, because I was just not interested in this EP at all. I just found it to be very bland, very run-of-the-mill, you know, just total angry in-your-face bro-core. Like, Hatebreed, but dumber and way more predictable. Yeah, I'm not joking. I really don't have anything else to say. It's angry. It's got those big beefy riffs and beats, if that's what you're looking for, but like, I don't know, I would argue good songwriting is more important than just being angry and pissed off, but whatever, if you want your brocore, this will definitely give you your brocore. I'm gonna give this album a solid, it's definitely some stupid-ass brocore out of 5. Yeah. Moving on. How you doing, Anna?
I'm good.
Anna walked in while I was recording. How you doing?
I'm good.
You have a good night?
Yeah.
Do you like listening to me rant and rave at 1:30 in the fucking morning?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, atta fucking girl. Next up, we have Paid in Full, brand new studio album from Toronto heavy metal band Skullfist. Oh my god! Toronto, that's where we're from, Chompy. Holy fucking shit! Come to think of it, did we not mention them, like, earlier in the video? I think we did. I think we did. More importantly, I like this album. Sure, it's totally meat and potatoes, cookie cutter, heavy metal fucking worship. Like, if you listened to any Judas Priest or Scorpions or Saxon record from the 80s, you've very likely already heard this album to a certain extent. But you know what? Skullfist do it so well that I simply don't fucking care. Like, every riff, every hook, every guitar solo, genuinely fucking badass. I feel more badass having heard this record. I think I gained muscle weight having heard this record. Not even by lifting weights while listening to it, but simply by having listened to it. I feel stronger. I feel more muscular, more badass and tough and cool. Honest to God, I'd go as far as to say that this is maybe the best kind of, like, old school heavy metal record I've heard in 2022. From start to finish, just bona fide fucking bangers. Like, tons of gnarly riffs. It's heavy. It's surprisingly kind of creative. Like, it does a really great job at feeling fresh and feeling exciting despite using so many tried and true fucking genre cliches and tropes. It's just a really great classic heavy metal record, performed with youth and vigor and fire. Highly fucking recommend this. Definitely check this out. Plus, they're from Toronto. They're Canadian. That's just objectively awesome. For that reason alone, they're objectively awesome. Check them out, or else I'll fucking hunt you in the dead of night. Don't test me on that. I've got a fucking alligator. A crocodile. Whatever the fuck you are. What is Chompy exactly? He's a crocodile? I have a fucking crocodile, so don't fight me on this. Oh boy, I think the vodka's kicking in. This might not have been a great idea, but we're definitely too far into it to stop, so let's continue with Myopia, a collaborative record from Mizmor and Thou. This dropped out of the fucking blue, like 2 weeks ago-ish? Give or take maybe a day or two? I don't know. Here's what I do know. Holy shit. Absurdly heavy. It's miserable. It's depressing. It's thick and sludgy and dreary and gross and nasty. Everything you really want from, like, a doom sludge metal record. The best elements of both Mizmor and Thou combined into one ungodly fucking creation of just, like, misery and pain and torment. I love the black metal influence in this record. I love how it contrasts with some of the slower, doomier, sludgier riffs. The production of this thing is fucking fantastic. It is a bulky record with a total runtime of 1 hour and 13 minutes, but it doesn't really stop being entertaining throughout that time. Like, it consistently has my attention. It consistently captures my attention and curiosity and also rewards it. Yeah, I don't really have any other major criticisms. It's just a great record. Miserable, crushing, everything you really want from, like, an extreme metal record. From a doom, a sludge, a black metal record, all kind of thrown into a fucking blender and emulsified together and seasoned pretty damn near perfectly. Like, I actually wish I had time to do a full album review, because this really is a great fucking record. Had I done so, this would be getting, like, a very enthusiastic 4 out of 5, because it seriously is a fucking great record. And it came out of the fucking blue. Like, my fucking god. No hype, no press, no nothing. Holy shit, what a bunch of fucking chads. And you ready to hear something crazy? That was not the only totally out of fucking nowhere collaborative doom sludge metal record to be released in April 2022, because Vile Creature and Bismuth also released an album. And yeah, it's also just, like, absurdly fucking heavy. It is called A Hymn of Loss and Hope. It consists of one song, which is 40 minutes and 20 seconds long. It goes through a lot of different waves and motions and themes and passages. It's a very cathartic and progressive piece of music, more so than anything else I think Vile Creature or Bismuth have done before. I definitely feel the weight of its runtime more so than Myopia, despite being, you know, much shorter. The fact that this is one continuous piece of music is inherently somewhat draining, but much like Myopia, it remains pretty intensely interesting throughout its duration. And the ultimate conclusion of this song, like everything it builds up to, is just really powerful, really well done. I think it's fair to say that your patience might be tested by this thing because of its long length. It's rare that you have a single song on a single album being 40 minutes long. The only other thing I can think of that attempts to do something like that is Murder the Universe from King Gizzard, but like, they're a weird fucking band. They can get away with fucking anything. To be fair, Vile Creature and Bismuth are also weird as fuck too, so I don't know. Maybe this won't be a big deal. Maybe I'm exaggerating. The point is, it's a lot, but it's good despite being a lot. Like, it's a really good fucking record. Definitely check it out if you're looking for something way more provocative and intense and immersive from the realms of, like, Doom and Sludge and Drone and whatever the fuck you want to call Vile Creature and Bismuth. Both of these bands occupy some pretty weird and gnarly territory. Next up, we have Abomination of the Flames, a brand new studio album from Beyond Mortal Dreams, their second studio album, which is kind of weird because their debut came out, like, 30 fucking years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Jesus Christ. I have no idea why there is such a massive time gap in between these two albums, but I also kind of don't care, so fuck it. More importantly, this album, just all around a really solid death metal record. I mean, the production is slightly unbalanced and everything feels a little bit messy, but to be fair, it's death metal, you know? A little bit of messiness, not a big deal, so long as you got those riffs, so long as you got those vocals and those blast beats and all those, you know, brutal bits and pieces that we want from any death metal record. And, you know, Abomination of the Flames packs all of that in spades. By no means on par with some other death metal we've heard so far in 2022, like some records from Venom Prison and Undeath, but it's fun. You know, it's very simple, kind of classic, old-school death metal with a tiny bit of modern production flourish. It could definitely be better composed and presented, but, you know, you still got plenty of riffs, plenty of gnarly beatdowns. It kind of reminds me of, like, some classic Dying Fetus and Broken Hope to a certain extent, like, the messiness and the violence of it all. There's a certain charm to that I appreciate. It's just a solid record. Not mind-blowing, not revolutionary, but if you're just looking for some fun death metal, you will get that. You will get some fun death metal, and more fucking power to ya. Next up, we have Resilience and Despair, the debut album from atmospheric doom metal band QAALM, featuring Henry Derek Ellis. Now, you might not be immediately familiar with that name, but there is a good chance you're familiar with at least something he has been a part of in the past decade. For instance, as a solo artist, he's done a bunch of really interesting neo-folk records. He was also briefly the lead singer of an American metalcore band called Thrown into Exile. He is also still technically the singer of Act of Defiance, kind of a heavy metal, thrash metal supergroup featuring members of Shadows Fall and Megadeth. I don't really know the status of that band. They might be on hiatus, kind of, sort of. I don't fucking know, but as far as I'm aware, he is still technically a member. But most of you, if you do know him, would know him as the former lead singer of Scar the Martyr, a side project from Joey Jordison of Slipknot fame. Rest in peace, good sir. So yeah, busy motherfucker. Good for him. Fucking honestly. Anyways, QAALM. Holy shit. What a fucking miserable record, and I mean that in the best way possible. It's not quite drone or funeral doom, but it definitely reminds me of a lot of drone and funeral doom. Like, it's extremely slow-paced, it's very cinematic and dark, there's a very big emphasis on feel and vibe and atmosphere. There aren't really a lot of like big riffs or choruses per se. It's just pure melancholy and misery, and it goes on for a very, very, very long time. I mean, there's not a single track on this record that is shorter than like 14 minutes. Like, all of them are super, super long and super, super, super fucking slow paced. It's definitely a challenge, more so than some of the other doom and sludge metal records I think we've talked about in this video, like the Vile Creature collab with Bismuth, and, you know, the Thou and the Myopia. Jesus, my brain is starting to malfunction. But I do think it's worth it. Like, there's a lot of really a lot of really fulfilling music on here. That's the right word. Like, it's cathartic, it's powerful. Like, this is music that I want to, like, turn down all the fucking lights to and get high and just talk about life with somebody. How does that sound to you, Anna?
Sounds good.
Sounds good? That sounds pretty fucking good. She's not usually wrong on a lot of things. Next up, we have Flourishing, Extremities on Unspoiled Mental Grounds. Goddamn, what a mouthful. This is the sophomore studio album from Pharmacist, and holy shit, what an absolutely disgusting and thrilling piece of death grind. Holy shit. Think like Carcass, Exhumed style death metal and grind performed with the insanity and the unhinged predictability and chaos that, frankly, only a Japanese metal band could possibly bring. That is this album. That is Pharmacist. And it is fucking awesome. Just pure, chaotic, brutal nonsense. It's messy. It's gory. It's over the top. It's like borderline fucking stupid at times, because it's just like a giant clusterfuck of death grind riffery and madness. But oh my god, I love it. If you're gonna do a big dumb death grind record, this is how you fucking do it. Those vocals are so gross. Those riffs are so fucking beefy and meaty and gnarly. It's absurdly heavy and absurdly fun. I don't even really know what else to say. I feel like just reading that title aloud should tell you exactly what you need to know. If you're not down with Japanese death grind, don't check this out. If you are, this is the album to check out. End of fucking goddamn story. Honest to God, I might pick this up on vinyl. Oh, that's good fucking shit. Wow. That's good vodka. Alright, 2 more albums to talk about. 2 more, and then we're done. Then we're donezo. Then Anna can go to sleep. Then I can go to sleep. Chompy can go to sleep. We can all go to sleep. You can go to sleep if you like. I mean, I'm gonna upload this at like 10 o'clock on a fucking Wednesday, but I don't fucking judge. You wanna go to sleep, you go to sleep. Go to fucking sleep, dude. Whatever. Next up, we have Marako Te Ruki. Debut album from Te Ruki, a French Polynesian black metal band. This is really cool. This feels like French Polynesia's answer to Alien Weaponry. Like, it's got those tribal rhythms. It's got those big groovy riffs and breakdowns. It's aggressive, it's provocative, it's very spiritual. I do think that some of the riffs and passages are a little repetitive at times, but the sheer power, the raw emotion of it all, and the general unique vibe that only French Polynesian music and culture can add to black metal is enough to motivate you to continue listening to this album. It's a genuinely really rewarding experience. Like, this feels like kind of rediscovering the aforementioned Alien Weaponry, or like classic Brazilian folk and percussion-tinged records from Soulfly and Sepultura. Yeah, I really like this record a lot. It's another one that I kind of wanted to talk about in a full album review, but I didn't really think that a lot of people would have checked it out. as a full-blown album review. Like, the stats were just not in my favor for that. Had I done so, we're looking at, like, a 3.5 out of 5. I'm really pumped to see what this band does in the future. Please check them out. Definitely give them a shot. This is everything I've been wanting from Alien Weaponry. Like, it's just really, really, really fucking good. And finally, we have Rites of Gore from Sentient Horror. It is a death metal album. It sounds like a death metal album. It functions like a death metal album. It is a death metal album. And I mean that in the best way possible. Big, gnarly fucking riffs and grooves, gross gutturals, you know, a lot of influence from Swedish and American death metal here, like just as much early at the gates and Entombed influence as there is, like, Cannibal Corpse, and, like, some brutal death metal shit, like there's some Dying Fetus bits and pieces I found here and there. It's fun, it's gnarly, it's gruesome, it's pure old-school death metal madness, taking influences from everywhere. It actually reminds me a lot of Undeath's latest album. That's definitely a stronger record. Like, the songwriting is just way better on that fucking thing, and the production is way better on that fucking thing. But, you know, this is still pretty good. Like, this isn't quite top tier shit. Like, Undeath is S tier, and this is like a solid B+. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. It's a good thing we're at the last album, because my brain is starting to just die. So is my phone. Anna's definitely dead. She's hoping I shut up any fucking second now. Ain't that right? Be honest, it's okay. Be honest.
I do want to go to sleep.
I know, right? She's a sleepy. She's a... Oh, you had what?
And you have Chompy and I need him.
You need... Oh, she misses Chompy. Oh, alrighty then. We're gonna wrap this up then. Sorry, Sentient Horror, but the love of my life is far more important than you. Plus, realistically, it's not like I really have that much more to say. It's a death metal record. If you like death metal, you're probably going to like this record too. Alright, that's it. Voila! The most chaotic fucking what the fuck albums I missed video I've ever done. Thank you, Chompy, for being a wonderful friend / co-host today. Thank you, Anna, for your patience. I love you!
I love you too.
That's so sweet. Press this button to subscribe and get updates. Let me know what other albums I missed that you feel I should check out. I obviously won't talk about them, but maybe I'll just check them out for shits and giggles. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic goddamn fucking day. Or night. Because I'm recording this late, so who knows? Maybe you're watching this late. I don't fucking know. Whatever. Goodbye! Get out of my fucking apartment, you fucking doofus!